Hello friends, my name is Kumar and welcome back to our channel Kumar Programming. Today we are going to learn about how to deploy a Node.js application in EC2 AWS instances. Okay, and we will do each and everything practically step by step. So now let's see what is the agenda we have. So first of all, we are going to create a very basic Node.js application. So once application is ready and we are able to run it in our local machine, then after that we will create a EC2 instance. That is nothing, it's a virtual machine in AWS cloud. And once virtual machine is ready, then after that we will deploy our Node.js application in EC2 instances. And finally we will execute from EC2 instance. Okay, so now let's start. But before that, friends, if you have not subscribed this channel, please subscribe it and press the bell icon so you will get the notification of all of my upcoming videos. So now let's start. Let's flip to the Visual Studio. So here you can see I have a very brand new application, Node app EC2. Okay. So first of all, it is required to install Node.js on your machine. If you have not installed it, then you can go to the Node.js official website, node.js.org. And in the download section here you can go to the Windows installer or Mac OS installer, whatever operating system that you are using, and here you can select for your 32-bit or 64-bit operating system and you can download it. Once it's being downloaded, then you can install it. That would be very easy step and you can do it by your own. So if you see, as of now we are having the latest version, long LTS version. LTS is nothing, it's a long time support, as a 20.11.0, and npm version we have 10.2.4. okay, so let's flip to the Visual Studio. Already I have installed Node.js in my machine. You can check it what version that we have. So here Node-v, it's going to give the version of Node.js. So currently I'm using Node version 20.10.0, and we can check the version of npm as well by npm-v. So it will give the version of npm. Currently I'm using 10.2.0. okay, so here first of all I have to initialize my application. So I'll use the command npm init. So it's going to initialize my application, Node.js application over here. I'll give the package name as a app EC2 version 1.0, and I'll not give any description. Entry point would be index.js, and then keyword author, and done. Okay, so now you can see here my package.json file is created, right? So in our Node.js application we are going to use Express, so we have to install Express as well. So I'll install it Express here, npm install Express. So here I'm creating a very basic application. However, I have created a complete application as a library management in Node.js, MongoDB and TypeScript. Link is flashing over on the top of this video as well as given below in the description. So if you want to watch that video, then please go to the link and learn how to create a web application in Node.js using MongoDB database and TypeScript. So if you see here, my Express has been installed here, and whatever the dependencies are there related with the Express, it's been mentioned inside our package.log.json file. Okay, and my node module folder also created over here. Now let me create a source folder over here at the root level, src, and inside src let me create a file as a server.js. Now, so in our server.js file, first of all we have to import our Express library. So we will write const express equal to require, and we will import our Express library. Okay, now we will create the application const app equal to express. Okay, now my application is created. Now we have to create our server. So here app.listen, and we are going to listen a port here, and then we are going to pass a callback function, and here we can mention our console log. Here I'm using template literals, and I can write here server started at port. In template literals, if we pass any variable, we have to use $, then curly bracket, and here we have to pass our port number. Okay, and now we have to define our port as well. So here I'll give const port, and that would be we are going to take it from our environment file. So process.env dot port, and if we don't define the process env.port, then we will pass the default value as a port 80. Okay, here I'm passing port 80. That there is a reason, I'll tell you later once I'll deploy it. Now our server is ready, but we have to send the request to the server, right? So how we can send the request to the server? Here we can write app.get, that we have to define our route, right? So here we have a default route here, and then we will pass another callback function here, and here we will pass our request and response, right? And here response, we will send our response dot send. What we have to send, we will just pass a message back to the user. Okay, so here we will write a simple Node.js application running on EC2 virtual machine. Okay, and now let me give one more route here as well, like contact route. And inside this contact route, we will send a message, please contact Kumar, Kumar programming at the rate kkyprogramming. Okay, right? That's all. Now our server is ready. Now let's run it. So in order to run, first of all, let's update our script inside the package.json file. So here we have our script. Now let me, so here we will give start. We will execute our server.js file. So we have our file in src folder, then server.js, right? That's it. Now we can start it here, npm run start. It's giving error, src is not recognized as an internal or external command. So okay, so here basically we have to start node, right? We have to write node, I missed it, node, then we have to give our file name, right? npm run start, so full it should be running. Yeah, now you can see server started at port 80. Now if you want to run this, we can run it in our local machine, localhost, and port 80, right? So port 80. So here you can see a simple Node.js application running on EC2 VM. Okay, and now if you want to just check the contact, please contact Kumar programming at kkyprogramming, right? So our application is running absolutely fine in our local machine, but we need to deploy in our EC2 instance in AWS in cloud, right? So how we can do that? So in order to do that, first of all, we have to create an instance, EC2 instance in our AWS. So now let's create that. So now let's launch our AWS console here. So now I have logged in on my AWS console. If you have not registered on AWS, you can simply register on AWS cloud, and that is free for 1 year. Okay, so here if you see come in the compute section, I have EC2. Okay, and if you are not able to find it, then you can in the search section you can find it EC2. Okay, so you'll get it here. Now here if you see in the instances, I don't have any instance, so I'll create an instance. And now here if you right check at the right side, you will see the launch instances, right? So I'll create a launch instance. So now here you can give the name of your instance. So here I'll give node app EC2 instance. Okay, and then I'll select here, you can select any one of them, like Amazon, Mac operating system, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat. I'm going to use Ubuntu here. However, you can use any one of them, and I'm going to use then instance type as a T3 micro. If you see here T3 micro in the region in which T2 micro is unavailable, right? So T2 or T3, that is as of now free tier, so I'm using T3 micro. That is nothing, that is just a instance type, right? And now here key pair login, so I don't have any key pair. Let me create a key pair over here. So I'll just give a node app key. Okay, so I'm using RSA, key pair type as a RSA and key format as a .pem. Now create the key pair. Now my key pair is created and it's downloaded, right? Now in the network setting, you can run this application on SSH, and then we can allow for the HTTPS and allow HTTP traffic on the internet. Both of the traffic, it's allow for the SSH, HTTPS and HTTP. Okay, by default storage we have as a 8 GB. Now in the advanced section, as of now, I mean, like we are just creating the instances, so it's not required to do any changes over there. Now let's give here the comment, creating EC2 instance, EC2 instance for Node.js app deployment. Okay, now launch instances. Now you can see my instance is getting started. Now go to the instances back once again. Let me refresh it. Yeah, see here my instance is getting ready. So meanwhile our instance is getting ready, let's go back to the application. here I'm going to add one more file, readme. So readme.md. Okay, and here I'm providing all the steps that we have to perform on for the application deployment on EC2 environment. Now let's commit this code to our GitHub. So let me create a GitHub repository for this. So let's go to my GitHub, and here we have repository. I'll create a new repository from here as node app EC2, okay, which is available now. I'll make it as a public and create repository. So now you can see here my repository is created. Now I need to initialize my Git. Let me open another terminal as a git bash, and here I'll use my git init. Okay, now my git is initialized here, and be remember that once we are pushing this code to the git repository, then we are not required to push this node module folder. Okay, so what we will do, we will ignore this file. So in order to ignore this, we have to create a .ignore file, .git ignore. Okay, and inside this .git ignore file we have to mention this folder. Okay, node underscore modules, node modules, right? Now we can commit it all our code. So before commit, we have to add all of our files. So here let's see what all the files we have. Git status. So you can see here we have all these here node modules are still there. Why? Let me add this node modules. Node modules. Spelling is right. No, sorry, its spelling is wrong here. Node. Yeah, so now you can see here this node modules is disabled. Now if we see our git status, see my node module folder is out from this changes, right? So now here we have to commit all these files. So here we have two options, either we can add it individually or we can add it all the files. So git add, if you put dot, then all those files are going to be added inside the git commit. Okay, and if you want to commit it individually, then you can just give the name of the file in place of dot. Okay, so now here git add, now my all the files are being added, are ready to commit. So here we can check the git status once again. Now see, all these files are ready to commit. Now here we will git commit. Before that we have to change our branch. So here we are going to change our git branch to main. So git branch -m main. So now earlier we were using our master branch, now we move to the main branch. Okay, now here we have to use git commit -m, and then we have to give the message, right? So my first commit. Okay, so here all of my files are committed, and now we have to push this to our GitHub repository. So we have git push. Now it's showing like we have to put our okay, so we have not added our remote here, right? So let me just add our remote. Here we have the command to add remote. So here we have to add our remote. Now my remote is added. We can check it. Git remote -v. So here you can see our fetch and push remote. Now we have to push our code. So git push -u origin main. Okay, so now my all of the codes are pushed to the my GitHub repository. Now let's see that. Here we have my repository, and inside if you see node app EC2, so my all of code are available over here, right? And what are the steps are required for the deployment for the node application on EC2 instances? Everything is mentioned over here step by step. Okay, so we will follow these each and every step on our EC2 instances. I'll open it side by side. Right, so now let me open this instance. Now here, now let me connect to this instance is nothing, it's EC2 instance is nothing, this is a virtual machine, right? Like your computer. Okay, so this is a virtual computer which is having a instance ID. It is having there its own IP address, right? And it's having its platform as a Linux, and it's having their host name and type. Now let me connect to this machine. So here we have a option to connect. Now here we have multiple way to connect, like EC2 instance connect, session manager, SSH, EC2 serial console. but here we are going to use our EC2 instance connect here. Now let me connect. So now it's going to connect to my EC2 instance. So connection is establishing here. Now I'm connected to my EC2 instance. Now we will deploy our Node.js application over here on EC2. So we will follow step by step the guidance which we have over here. So first of all, we have to install Node.js and npm. Okay. So first of all, we have to use as a super user. So now here we will use sudo su hyphen. So now it's going to, earlier we were using as a Ubuntu. Now we are as a root super user. Okay. Now we have to use this command in order to install our Node.js on our server. Some unwanted values are pasted over here, right? So now you can see my Node.js is getting installed on this machine. Then we have to activate our NVM node version manager, right? So here we have to activate our node manager. I don't know why some of the characters are coming in front of this. Okay, we will use the copy from here. Okay, yeah. Now this node NVM manager is going to install the node. So here we have to NVM install node, NVM install node. So our node is getting installed on this machine. So here you can see node version is getting installed as a 21.5.0 and also npm installed version as a version 10.2.4, right? So here we can check also a node version, node-v, see, and we can check the npm version also, npm version as well, npm-v, okay, 10.2.4, right? Now we have to install git and clone the repository, right? So in order to install the git, first of all we have to update our machine by sudo apt get update command. So here we will sudo apt get update. So it's going to update our machine. Now once all the packages are required package are installed, then we have to install our git. Now git is already installed. Now let's see if what is the git version we have. Git hyphen version, right? Yeah, so git version is 2.34.1. okay. Now we need to clone our application, right? So in order to clone that, we know that we have a command as a git clone. Now clone. So see here, my application is cloned over here. So we can just check our application, cd and node app ec2, right? Cd, right? So now in our node app ec2 folder, so here we can just check ls. So you can see here all of my files are available, right? Now here we need to run our npm install because already here we have our package.json file. So here we will run our npm install, npm install. So see, all the packages are getting installed over here. Now we can run our application on this instance. So in order to run, we know that we have our command npm start. So here we will run npm start, right? So now you can see here server started at port 80. Why I have given 80 port? Because this is the default port for our HTTP, and if you are giving port 80, then we are not required to do any changes or any at the port level, right? So in order to just for the simplicity, I have given a port 80 over here. Now we can run this application on port 80. So let's go back to our instances here, and here this is my IP, so I can access my application through this IP. So here IP address and enter, right? And boom, see, my application is ready and it's running on EC2 virtual machine. Okay, and we have one more route here as a contact. See, now for the contact route also we are getting the please contact Kumar programming at the kkyprogramming. So friends, I hope that you understood how to create a basic application, then how we can push that application to our GitHub, and then how we can create a EC2 instance, and finally how we can deploy that application to our EC2 instances, right? So yeah, here I have taken a very simple example, but I have created a complete web application in Node.js, TypeScript, and MongoDB as a library management. Link is given below in the description, as well as it's flashing out at the top of this video as well. And if you want to learn in detail Node.js application, then please go and watch that video. I have explained everything which is required to create a web application in Node.js. So this come to the end of this video. For more video, please subscribe this channel and like, comment and share to the whatever the social media platform that you are using. That is absolutely free for you, but it gives a lot of confidence and motivation to me to make video like this. So friends, that's all for the day. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, take care and keep learning.